Hi, it's Karen Capello, and today I want to talk to you about copywriting, which is something that I think every coach needs to do, whether it's hired or not. And I want to start out with kind of a funny story. I'm in this Facebook group, and there were a couple memes sent yesterday, which I thought were just really funny. So the first one says, "Copy is like a woman's skirt. It should be long enough to cover the essentials, but short enough to keep it interesting." So here's the picture of the woman's skirt. And when I read this, I thought, well, that's kind of clever, but funny because, of course, as a woman, I was wondering, what about, what would this be for having with a man in there? It's just something a little bit different. So then they did put out a meme that says, "Copy is like a man's boxer shorts. It should be long enough to cover the essentials, but short enough to keep it interesting." So there's the men's boxer shorts. I thought it was really funny that people were talking about copywriting, and people are always asking, how long should copy be, and who can I hire? So that's where I'm going to start today. I actually want to share a question that came in our Coaching Success Club Facebook page. And the question was, does anybody know any good copywriters? Like, this person was looking for a recommendation, and that was so great because our group really does respond to each other and help each other out. And as I read this question, I thought, well, I might back up a little bit and ask a few more questions before even asking for a recommendation. So here's what I would ask the person who was looking for a copywriter. First of all, I would ask, what is it that you want the copywriter for? I'm imagining maybe to write a sales page for some type of an offering. And you want to look at the ROI, the return on investment of that copywriter. So for instance, I looked online, and a lot of these sales pages for copywriters are going for about $4,000 to $5,000. And if you think about it, if you sell enough products and the products are high priced enough, it could easily pay for itself. But you might have to have a really big mailing list. Like, let's just say if you had 10,000 people on your mailing list and you were selling a $1,000 product and you paid $5,000 for your page, then you'd need to sell 50 products before you broke even. And after that, everything is gravy. So over the years, that would probably pay off. But if you don't have that big of a mailing list and you don't have that big of an audience yet, you might want to consider, instead of having something done for you, to do it yourself. And here's another reason to do it yourself for copy. When you hire a copywriter, it's not just like writing a check and saying, okay, give me the copy. There's a lot of work that you have to do. In my pages, I did this years ago, probably 2003, I had 2 sales pages, hired a copywriter for $1,500 back in those days, and that was a nice investment for my business, and the product that I was selling was a $500 product. So I could see the return on investment over the long haul. But the copywriter asked me so many questions about what was the product like, what were the features, what were the benefits, who was the audience, like all kinds of questions. And by the time I answered all those questions, I thought, well, I might be able to write this page myself, because hiring a copywriter, you're going to have to do a lot of the work yourself. So that's what people, I think, don't understand about that. So just be aware of that you will need to do a lot of work on your own. So what if you do want to do it yourself in copywriting? I actually took a course many years ago. It was $1,000 that I invested, but over the years I've written lots of different pages, and so that has been a great investment for me. There's a course right now that I haven't taken, but that I have looked at the investment, and I've also looked at the pre-course for this. It looks pretty good, and that's by Marie Forleo. I have no affiliate links or anything, but it's called the Copy Cure. So a course like that's $500 that you could invest in, that you could write your own copy for, may be a really better investment depending on your audience, depending on how much time or money you have to invest in your copywriting. So that's the long and short of it, of how long or short copy should be. And what is it? What was my thing? The copy should be long enough to cover the essentials, but short enough to keep it interesting, which I think is also a really great idea when coming and looking at copy. So that's our tip for today. If you're thinking of hiring a copywriter, just be aware that you're going to have to do a lot of things to help that copywriter. It may be a pretty big budget, so look at the return on investment. How long is it going to take? How many items are you going to need to sell to make that investment back? And maybe you want to take a course and just do it yourself. So that's a tip for you for today. We do a lot of tips like this in our Coaching Success Club, and actually the doors are now open. We'll be raising the prices on June 10th. There's so many great features and benefits to this program. So if you want to look at it, you can go to coachingsuccessclub.com. If you're a coach that wants to make a very reasonable investment and get lots of great information, like even the information you got today, then consider joining us. Okay, so this is Karen Capello signing off with lots of love and great joy. Bye-bye.